Okay, welcome back to Mr. Music's YouTube page. We are on number 3 on the Chapter 9 test from the Go Math series. Let's get started. Says for numbers 3a through 3e, select true or false for each statement. So basically we're going through and just deciding if these are equivalent or equal to each other. Okay, number 3a. 3a says 0.9 or 9/10 is equivalent to 0.90 or 90 hundredths is another way to say that. Now again, with decimals, after we write the decimal point, we can add zeros, as many zeros as we want behind a number. It never changes the value of the number. Okay, so that's a little bit different from the left side of the decimal point. When we add zeros on the left side of the decimal point, it does change the value. But when we add zeros to the right side of the decimal point, we're not actually changing the value. This is still a 9 in the tenths place, and we have zeros in the hundredths, thousandths, and so on's place. So we actually don't change the value when we add zeros behind. So the best way to compare when you have two decimals is to line up the decimal point. So my first number, 0.9 or 9/10, and my next number is 0. And I want to make sure I line these decimals up, 90. So let's look at the first place, the ones place, both 0, they're tied. Tenths place, both 9, they're tied. So I go to the hundredths place. This has a 0, this has nothing. Well, nothing has the same value as 0. So yeah, in fact, these are equivalent to each other. So it's very important when you're comparing decimals, you always want to line up your place values. Okay. Line up those decimals so they're right on top of each other. You have the ones place, and then the tenths place, then the next would be the hundredths place, and so on. So you want to line those up, then it becomes very easy to compare. You just go right down the line, 0, 0, 9, 9, 0, 0, yep, they're tied, so that is true. Again, you can rewind, fast forward as needed on these videos. All right, let's jump to 3b. This time we have 0.2, and we have 2 over 100. And with these, you want to read those fractions as 2 hundredths. That way, when you're lining up your decimals, because we have no whole numbers, right? Nothing here, so that's your ones place. How many tenths do we have? Well, there's nothing in front of this 2, and it's saying it's 2 hundredths, so we have no tens, and we have 2 hundredths. So if we line those up, we have 0 in the ones place, those are tied, 2 in the tenths place here, and a 0. So those are not equal to each other. So that is going to be false. Okay. All right, I'm going to jump down now. I'm not going to do every problem. We set them up basically the same. I will jump down to 3C, and then 3D and 3E, though, you can solve them the same way you solved 3B. So you can go back and watch those steps to solve those. All right, the fractions, 80 hundredths and 8 tenths. Well, let's write these as decimals. Do we have anything in the ones place? No and no, so 0. And then our decimal point, we have 80 hundredths. Okay, this would be the tenths place, this would be the hundredths place. How many hundredths do I have? I have 80 of them. Get that number from right here. The hundredths place tells me how many place value spots I need, and then the numerator tells me how many hundredths do I have? I have 80 of them. Okay. Next one, 8 tenths. Well, I have nothing in the ones place here. Let's line it up. Decimal, and then I have the tenths place, and it says I have 8 tenths. And then remember, I can add zeros behind a number if it's to the right of the decimal. So I can put a 0 there because 0 is the same thing as nothing. So 8 tenths is, yes, these are equal. We have 0 ones, 8 in the tenths place, and they both have 0 in the hundredths place. So yes, that would in fact be true. All right, again, you can use the same strategy we used on 3B to solve 3D and 3E. Good luck, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.